Welcome back, Toastmasters and guests. We will jump right into the second portion of our meeting this evening, the prepared speech. Tonight, we have our very own Toastmaster Angela doing her level 2 of leadership development. And tonight, her speech will be the staircase and the steps. Angela is a teacher, an author, and a blogger. She is a founding member of this club, and she is one of our most stalwart speakers. Tonight, Angela will be giving her manual presentation, The Staircase and the Step. The Staircase and the Step, Angela.
Thank you very much, Edward. Fellow Toastmasters and friends. The staircase and the steps. The question is, what can a mentor do for you? First of all, I should explain the difference between a mentor and a coach. The word mentor comes from the Greek mentor. How many of you know about the Greek mentor? Put your hands up. How many of you don't know? Well, in case anybody doesn't know or has forgotten, when Ulysses went off to fight in the war, the story written up very famously by the Greeks, when he met Helen of Troy, he left behind his son. And to look after his son, because he didn't know how long he was going to be away, he appointed Mentor, a man called Mentor, to look after his son. And of course, the journey went on for years and years. So Mentor became a lifelong father figure, teacher and advisor to the young lad, who was the Greek equivalent of the prince and the king to be. So the mentor is somebody who will look after you, advise you on specific things, but also generally on your path through life, and indefinitely if you need them indefinitely. A coach, by contrast, has a specific skill and will teach you for a specific event. So a lot of parents call in a coach to help their children pass an exam, give a speech at an event, and that's what a coach does. Now, a coach could become a mentor. What happens in Toastmasters? Toastmasters, originally, we had a manual which had 10 speeches, and then there was another manual which was for roles, leadership roles, and one of the roles was to be a mentor, or rather a coach to somebody, and to help them, a newcomer, through their first 3 speeches. So you were appointed what was called a mentor to help you with 3 speeches. And when they had done 3 speeches, they had ticked off the box for that task. Now, Toastmasters sees mentors in the bigger picture, the whole staircase, not just 3 steps, but a larger picture. And in order to be a mentor, you have to have completed a complete pathway, which is no longer just 10 speeches or 10 projects. It's much bigger. It's 16 on the current system, and it may be expanding further. So the mentor looks after you. Now, my idea of the mentor is that when a newcomer joins and looks at pathways, the mentor says, this is how long it will take you. Now, I, as a mentor, will say to somebody, if you join a club that has 1 meeting a month, it's going to take you about 18 months if you speak at every meeting or complete a project in every meeting to get through your 16 projects. You'll complete your pathway in a year and a half. That's fine. That's taking it easy. That's letting it all digest. And in between, you can listen to other people, research it. You have plenty of time. You have time to work, look after your family. On the other hand, if you are over 50, if you think I could die tomorrow because of COVID, if you think I'm over 70, I'm retired, I might not be well this time next year, you think, hey, I don't want to finish pathways in 2 years. I've got to be quicker. And when I joined Toastmasters, I joined the first club I ever joined, Harrovians. The minute I walked into it, I saw the manual. I thought, that's what I want. And then when I heard there was a second club, my club was meeting once a month. The other club was meeting once a month. That was 2 meetings a month. I joined a second club. I was going to finish twice as fast. And now, I won't tell you how old I am, but I'm semi-retired and I'm a member of 5 clubs, which means I can do up to 5 speeches a week, which means I can complete a pathway in 2 months, which means that if I stick to it in a year and a half, I could complete most, if not all, of the pathways, and some of them repeat some of the speeches, but now they're changing the system and making it harder and longer. So I'm continually gathering to keep up, and I have to gather to keep up in order to mentor you and to become a club coach and mentor an entire club. So that is what a mentor is doing. A mentor, like a teacher, has to be 1 step ahead of you to help you advance. That's why it's an advantage to you to have a mentor, and that's why it's an advantage to you to be a mentor. Now, I think back to the days when I was originally, you might say, a coach or a mentor, a home tutor to pupils doing A-levels. And I would tell them, let's look at the entire year and see how long you've got to your exam, what we need to do every week. So you can be long-term, think you're going to be a coach or a mentor. Meanwhile, now you might want a mentor. Now you know how Toastmasters sees mentors. Back to you, Toastmasters Day, Edward.
Excellent speech, Angela, and most entertaining. Love how you incorporate yourself into your speech and your use of humor. Excellent job. I will be your second speaker this evening. My evaluator will be Patricia. I am an IT professional from Belize. I enjoy RPGs, role-playing games, playing chess, and cycling and basketball. In a nutshell, that's who I am. Today, my speech is not done yet. I started my professional career as an accountant. I worked at Belize Telecommunication Limited. It's the largest telecom provider here in Belize. And working in accounting, the inventory and budget department, to be exact. I kept track of the assets of the company, and I liaised with the managers, the GMs, the heads of department in regards to their budget. And one thing struck me, one thing stood out to me. The IT department had the largest budget. And for the life of me, I could not appreciate that. I'm here in accounting, crunching numbers, making things happen. If I don't approve the POs, nothing gets done. Everything comes through me. How is it that the guys in accounting, the guys in IT have a larger budget? It didn't make sense to me. I did not appreciate it. Whenever I go by their department, They're sitting around drinking coffee or playing game solitaire on their computers. And these are the guys with the largest budget. I started to think, well, if the accounting budget isn't as large as their budget, maybe I should be in their department. I went and I asked for a transfer. The HOD, the head of department for the IT, he called me in. He said, Edward, you are doing a great job in accounting. Why do you want to leave? We like you in accounting. You're one of our best guys. Stay in accounting. I was rejected. He looked at me and said, you are highly qualified as an accountant. You have no background in IT. I would be doing you a disservice by bringing you into my department. I was crushed. Here I was thinking I was one of the more intelligent guys, and he's telling me I'm just not smart enough to be in his department. So I started to take IT courses. And after I completed a few IT courses, I went to him with my certificates. He said, this isn't enough. Everyone in my department have at least a bachelor's, not just certificates. So I went back to school. After being rejected a second time, I went back to school. And I was surprised. I was told by my counselor that I would virtually have to start all over because my business credit do not translate to IT credit. So a whole bunch of prerequisite course I had to redo. And I was feeling this is a waste of my time. I will never get into IT this way. But I persevered. And a year and a half later, I went back to Raf, the head of the IT department. Here's my diploma. I have a bachelor's in software engineering. He looked at me and said, I have no opening in my department. We'll keep it on file. Crushed yet again. Well, I kept at it. I was sitting at my accounting desk and I noticed several resignations came in. Several of the guys from IT were leaving. So I ran to them. Why are you leaving? Why are you giving up your job? Is something wrong? I said, no, we got better offers at Central Bank of Belize, at Belize Electricity Limited. So they were being recruited by these other organizations. I saw an opportunity. I went back to Raf's office with a smile on my face. I hear you might have in some openings. He looked at me with a smirk. Said, fine, Ed, I'll give you a shot. Eureka! I made it. I am in the department. I got there on my first day, coffee mug in hand, because all the IT guys drink coffee. They looked at me. What are you doing here? Accounting is down the hall. I said, no, I am in this department now. I said, okay, fine. I got my first assignment. I was supposed to build an interface for the new CRM. They all looked at me and said, good luck. I got no help, no assistance from any of my colleagues in the IT department. I had to figure it out on my own, which was great. I learned a lot. They were all surprised that I was able to accomplish my first assignment. So they looked at me and they gave me some credit, but not too much, because in their mind, I was still an accounting guy. I was not an IT guy. And Raf came and said, you now have the forward all on the tax application. What, the tax application? I'll be monitoring that? No, I'm a new guy. That's a senior application handled by senior guys. I felt I was being set up to fail. I'm an accounting guy in an IT department. No one really wants me here. But I persevered. The tax application worked fine. Everyone got their tax return back to a cent, 1 penny. There were no errors. Everyone was happy. I got my third assignment. My third assignment was the share registry of the company, who all the shareholders were, what amount of shares they had, and I, based on the financial record, was supposed to calculate their dividends. If you mess this up, no one has to tell you clean off your desk. No one has to tell you you're not needed anymore. This is the ultimate this is the ultimate test. Ralph looked at me, he's going to mess up. And he gave another guy the same project, but we were not supposed to work together because I am the primary on the project. But should I fail, he has a backup plan, so he won't look bad in front of the shareholders. With sweat running down my brow, I turned in my report. Ralph looked at me with a surprised look on his face. It was either I was going to get promoted or I was going to be fired. I did not know what that look on his face meant. But he leaned back in his chair and he smirked. I never thought you had it in your head. Good job. Welcome to the team. After all that, you're just now welcoming me to the team? I felt great, but I know that I will continue to be tested in this department. And I realized that although I had achieved this great accomplishment, I was not done yet. Toastmasters and guests. Unfortunately, Toastmasters and guests, we only have 2 manual presentations for you this evening. I hope you enjoyed them thoroughly. We will take yet another 5-minute break while the evaluators complete their evaluations.